Microphone check. Hair check. Good attitude check. All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, again. My name is Jay, and today we are going to talk about a subject that was brought up by another fellow YouTuber. His name is Seth Perry. Check him out. I'll put a link to his channel up here, but wait till you're done watching this episode and then you can go over to his channel. Also too, his link will be down below along with the other my favorite resources for sober coaches, or whatever you want to call them. It's just easier to call them sober coaches or sober channels or whatever. So I had mentioned some before that I like the Habits Unplugged channel, and Sober Leon, and Simon Chappell, Timothy Ward, Big No-No, and now Seth Perry joins that list. So welcome and congratulations, Seth Perry. He makes some really good videos. He's up in Canada. He's a pastor and he's been sober for over 10 and a half years. So shout outs to him and his channel. It is pretty good. So check it out when you have time. And so I'm doing a response video. This is my first response video. And he just put out a recent episode. I think it was episode number 24 on his channel. And the topic was, can I use cannabis while I'm sober? Or can I use cannabis and remain sober? And so I'm gonna answer that question. Sorry, I always put on way too much chapstick before I start each episode. But yeah, so I have a different attitude, I guess, about cannabis. Not saying that he's pro cannabis at all, but so just getting really quickly just to the question, can I use cannabis and be sober? I guess what we're really asking is, what is the definition of sobriety? And we would want to, ask another question too. And maybe the next question would be, what do you consider to be sober? But what do you have a problem with? So that's the bigger question, I believe, is what do you have a problem with? Like for me, if I don't have a problem with marijuana. I'll tell you that right now. I have said no to drugs a lot with regard to marijuana. And it's not that, I've had my share, don't get me wrong. We don't need to get into specific numbers, but I've tried it dozens of times, and I just know it's not for me. And I know people that swear by it. They're just like, I don't do any work, creative or otherwise, unless I smoke. I wake and then I bake. I'm high all day. And, if that works well with your physiology, cool. And if you don't have a problem with it, cool. And if you can afford it, I guess, cool. And, you're not a jerk about it. You're not winding up in jail or robbing old ladies' purses or, whatever other stereotypical information that they're putting in all those, reefer madness or whatever.
Smoking the soul-destroying reefer, they find a moment's pleasure, but at a terrible price. Debauchery, violence, murder, suicide, and the ultimate end of the marijuana addict. Hopeless insanity.
When we use something, and I talked about this in yesterday's episode, which was this, if you use something, just break that down very literally. You're using something. And then that sounds a little bit harsh, because if we're talking about drugs or alcohol, it's like, oh, well, he's a user, or he's using, or she's using, or whatever. It's like, well, we are, you could use a shovel, you can use a rake too, and you're using that. But with regard to drugs or alcohol, if we're using something, what is the purpose of using that thing? Typically to feel better, and probably in an unnatural way, right? So whether it be, I gotta smoke a little bit before I go to work, or I'm gonna have a lunch break, I'm gonna smoke a little bit because I just can't deal with these customers, These are all things that I've said, and these are things that I've heard. And I get it. Like, we have to deal with the world around us, you know? And if it were the case that apply any stressful situation or any stressful job to whether or not you want a little something to take the edge off, the answer is probably yeah, sure, yeah, why not? Let me have a drink. Let me have a little puff. Let me have something. And for some people, it's a little harder than drugs. I'm sorry, it's a little harder than alcohol or marijuana. So we don't need to get into specifics of that. But like, I wouldn't consider if I had marijuana, I sound like a politician. If I had just even one marijuana, if I smoked, I wouldn't consider it that I wasn't sober. I'm not trying to sound like a hypocrite. I know I don't have a problem with marijuana, weed, cannabis, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a problem with it. I've said no to it with a success rate of like 80%. Versus alcohol is more kind of just like, I was the one who's kind of like, so are we drinking? Should we drink? Should we grab a bottle before should we bring like flasks into are they gonna pat us down? Should we put the flask in the sock? That was kind of me, you know. I'm like, cheap. I want to get the most from you want to get the most kicks out of my evening, I guess. But if I were to smoke right now, it would just be more so like, I mean, I know what happens. I can't smoke. First of all, I can't smoke a lot. I am one of those people. I don't have the scientific literature or the research to back what I'm saying, but I feel like I have that gene. Schizophrenia does run in my family. So there have definitely been times when I've taken some mind-altering substance or substances, and I felt like,
oh no, is my brain broken? Or like, oh no, am I gonna be this way forever? Oh no, did I just say all of that out loud? Or am I just thinking, oh, how long has it been?
And then it's like been 5 minutes and I'm just like,
oh my God, it's taking forever.
And then, you know, I get the spins and whatever, and I just like, I don't like it. I feel like twitchy and spasm, like I get like little spasms, and I just kind of feel like, I feel like almost like symptoms of like maybe Parkinson's or something. I just feel like real kind of like nervous, kind of twitchy. And then also too, like, I don't know. I feel like I look like an alien sometimes. I'm like,
oh God, everybody knows I'm high. They're all talking. And not only do they know, but they're all talking about it.
and it may be, it's like, you know, if you're a lot of times if I smoke too much, I'm just like, this will just be me. Just sitting in the corner, talking. And then it's like, yeah, I'm probably giving people a reason to talk about me. And so I'm just like, oh, yeah, I don't know, not my cup of tea. But, you know, with alcohol, it was always like, I could drink, feel totally fine, come up with plans, make plans, and I feel like I have 100% of my brain function. Not with weed, though. With weed, it's just kind of like,
about that brain function, let's just slow down. You want to just walk through a field of molasses.
That's kind of like what it's like for me. I feel a little bit more creative sometimes. I feel like a little bit more chill sometimes, but it's just not for me in large quantities. If I ever do smoke, it's like I'll have one hit of marijuana. One. That's it. And like not a world record setting amount. I don't like feel it's not lung capacity, just a mouth draw. And then and it goes out, and then I'm just gonna chill out and do a little Netflix or whatever, maybe, you know, do something creative. But that's you know, not something that I go to for you know, for staying sober. And it's not something that I advocate. I'm just answering the question, you know, what can you use cannabis and remain sober? And I think, you know, there's multiple answers because everybody's different. Some people, like some of my closest friends are just like, I've watched them, you know, I was working at a super high volume restaurant, like and like a lot of my friends would smoke a lot, just like pass a blunt around and go crazy, just smoke and smoke and smoke, and then go wait on tables and talk to people, like 4 tops of customers and 8 tops and parties of like 20. And I'm just like, whoa, good luck with that. I'm just gonna go get drunk. But I mean, obviously, well, usually I wouldn't drink when I was, you know, at the high volume restaurant. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, some people just like they were of the opinion that they worked better on it, and it just worked well for them. And I wouldn't, you know, some of these people, I've let them drive drive a car, I've let them make decisions, and I'm just like, you just don't at all seem, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't seem hindered at all. You seem cool, you seem fine, and their relationship was pretty healthy with it, right? Though, you know, I didn't mean to sound like Christopher Walken, though my relationship, but like with those people though, I don't know, if you're smoking like an ounce, of weed a week, I don't know, it's kind of a lot. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a lot. I don't really, I've known some people that have smoked that much, but you know, you maybe, so I know that some people are watching this channel that are also trying to get sober from weed. And, you know, so again, we ask a more basic question, which is kind of like, well, so in what ways is my life out of balance? You know, am I out of balance mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially? Again, the big five, right? In what way am I out of balance? And is this eating up a lot of my time? That's another one. That's why, again, also why I like using that Quitzilla app that I talk about a lot. Because with that app, which I'm not affiliated with, and it's free, it measures an addiction, whether it be a waste of time or a waste of money. And I think there's another parameter too, I can't remember. But, you know, weed could definitely be, and alcohol are both a waste of time and money, right? And, you know, if you have a healthy balance, you know, I definitely know some people that certainly have they're lovely people. They have wonderful careers, parents, doctors, lawyers, you name it. I know people that have a healthy relationship with marijuana. And I also know I know people that have a healthy relationship with alcohol. And I would consider, I don't really say I even have a relationship with marijuana. I just don't do it. So, I mean, that's that for me. But I don't know, like, it's whatever substance that you're going to use that you end up wanting to change how you feel. Anything that we do that makes us want to change how we feel, that creates a sense of codependency, right? It's like, well, whenever I want to feel good, I reach for a Lucky Brand cigarette, you know, or, you know, whatever. You start sounding like an advertisement. It's like, well, if I want a little pick me up, I have one marijuana, right? Or I have a Corona, or I have a shot, or I have a whatever, you know. If I want to disappear from the world, I stick a needle in my arm and shoot up a little heroin. It's like, I don't know, like whatever the escape is, right? Whatever we use to escape reality. And what is it about reality though? So we want to take it now back another step further. It's like, what is it about the thing that we are using that's making us want to escape? What is it that we want to escape? Why is it that we want to escape that thing? You know, if, you know, let's say if you were in an abusive relationship and you had to go home and your choices are like, well, do I just go home sober or do I get happy hour on the way home? And, you know, maybe I could deal with maybe, you know, like, I don't know, my spouse, my partner is also, an alcoholic. And so I know that sometimes they'll be in a good mood and sometimes they're going to be in a bad mood. And, you know, if I don't know, I'm just going to go grab a drink before I go home and face that person because I don't know what's waiting for me. Or, you know, maybe I need to smoke a little bit before I go into work, or maybe I smoke a little bit before I get home. Or, you know, I don't know what it is, whatever stress that we feel like we don't have a better tool to remedy how we feel. And so the point of sobriety for me is I'm on a quest to find better tools so that I can cope with my day-to-day situations, so that I can be a better friend, a better relative, a better son, hopefully someday, you know, be a great parent, whatever it is. And I know that I have personally developed some unhealthy relationships with different substances so that I can get through my day, so that I can relieve some anxiety, so that I can relieve some depression. The biggest one for me was always anxiety. I've always just felt super anxious. But you know, what I'm coming to realize now in my journey with sobriety is that anxiety is a call to action. Anxiety is almost like an alert or an alarm, letting you know that there's something that we don't have experience with and we have an opportunity to gain experience so that the next time we have to experience the situation, we will no longer be nervous, and we can start to build confidence and be more comfortable in our skin, in our surroundings. So I feel very blessed. It took all my life until like this afternoon to figure that out. Literally, I was like in the middle of praying, and then I was like, because my brain won't shut off, like not even when I'm praying. And I was like, wait a minute, did I just have a revelation? Thank you, Jesus. And so, you know, that's I wanted to share that with you. If you have any other contrary beliefs or, you know, anything to add to that, I always say comment below. And if you want to, you know, keep your messages private, you don't necessarily want to comment below, which it helps me more so if you do comment. At least leave a comment, because it helps YouTube to decide whether or not this content is worth sharing to other people. So the combination of liking, commenting, and subscribing helps out your favorite YouTubers. So I thank you for commenting, I thank you for being subscribed, and I thank you for taking the 2 seconds to like this video. And again, if you want to email me, you can email me at gettingsoberagain@gmail.com. I will respond to you in an orderly fashion, and good luck on your journey. And again, thank you to Seth Perry for the prompt and the dialogue, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.